and welcome to ASMR Chess. Today we have part 2 of Magnus Carlsen and the Chess Killer, where Magnus Carlsen works together with Mort Petersen to capture a dangerous serial killer that poses chess puzzles. And if you are not up to speed, you can watch part 1 right here. Let's get to it. And I would like to say that this is not sponsored in any way, and I just really enjoy this book, and I highly recommend that you go and buy it if you like it as well. Show the authors some love, even though it only exists in Norwegian. I put a link in the subscription. Okay, let's see how far we got. So this is where we left off. We found out that the 3 first victims were all pieces that had been captured in a game between James Mortimer and Chigorin in 1900. And the 4th victim is going to be knight to f6. And they have mapped the chessboard to a map of Oslo, so they know where it's going to be, or at least they think they do. So, and I'm skipping over a lot of this a little quickly, because I really encourage you to not read the book like this, but to go and buy the book. We are in this for the chess enjoyment, even though the story is also extremely good. Okay, so they get a call from a phone that some homeless person gives to them, and it says that some unknown person is going to pose chess puzzles and riddles to Magnus, and it's a game of life and death. And finally, they get the chess puzzle, the first chess puzzle. By the way, if you look close to the phone, this here, does that remind you of anything? The little red dot there, it'll be relevant later. Okay, so here it is. This is the first chess puzzle. How can white mate in the 3 from this position? Okay, let's go and take a look. So this is the first of the puzzles that we will be doing today. I think that we will do 3 puzzles from the book today. This is how white can mate in 3. And the solution that Magnus comes up with starts with bishop to a3. And it was really funny. I was just checking this position because I was wondering about something, but I didn't have access to my strong computer with Stockfish on it, so I just put it in the chess.com version of Stockfish, and I do have premium. They supplied me with that, and it said that this position is made in 4, not made in 3. And then I inputted this move, bishop to a3, which is the one Magnus suggests as the first move, and then it sees that it's made in 3. So from this position, the chess.com Stockfish couldn't find the fastest mate. I think that's pretty interesting. I also think it's interesting that after bishop a3, black has 3 moves. All are made in 3, but Magnus only gives 1 variation. So the king can go to d6, the king can go to c8, and the king can go to b6. And Magnus gives the variation with the king to b6. And you could say that, oh, maybe the authors were just lazy, but you will notice the extreme care when you follow this series, the extreme care they have taken to make these chess puzzles relevant. They are making them like they really care about what they do. So I guess that there is something about king to b6 that I have not yet figured out. Maybe some relevance to the story or some detail that Magnus has picked up on. So it's interesting here. You have all these pieces, and it's actually a zugzwang position. You play bishop back to a3. This also vacates the b4 square. King to b6. Now knight to b4, vacated by the bishop. This also means that the knight protects this pawn. The rook takes all these squares, and the pawn takes this square. The bishop takes this square, so there's only one legal move, which is king takes rook. And here, knight to d4 is checkmate in a rather beautiful way. Pawn takes this square, king takes this square and this square. Check from the bishop that takes these squares, and this bishop takes these squares, and the knight takes this square. So that is checkmate. Let's see what Maud, the detective, and Magnus, the chess player, can do with that information. Okay. So we are back. Let's see what they do with the information. You can see here they rush to the new coordinate where they are giving a new chess puzzle, and this one is different. It says that there is a game of chess, and it starts with e4, and the fifth move is knight takes rook, checkmate. And the challenge is to describe the entire game. And then we see some really nice illustrations here of Magnus trying to crack this. You can see here how beautifully they illustrate this. Okay, so the game starts, and I'm just reading from Magnus's moves that he gives here. e4, the knight to f6, and f3. It looks very weird, but remember we are trying to accomplish something very specific here. Knight takes pawn. The queen goes to e2. Knight to g3. So we are trying to capture this rook with a checkmate. Queen takes e7, check. Queen takes queen, check. King to f2, and the final move, knight takes rook with checkmate, because the knight guards g3, checks the king, and the queen takes all the remaining squares. So that was a little beauty, and we are now ready for the final riddle for today. So what happens? Well, they get the new coordinate, and they go to the new coordinate, and they get the third puzzle for today. And you may think, okay, so the rest of this book is just going to be them messing about solving chess puzzles like this. No, we are only just getting started. It is going to be way more fancy. It's going to be way more sophisticated later on. But already now this position is very, very interesting. So let me first set it up for you guys. Here we are. Okay. So this is really interesting. When I first saw this position, I thought, I think I've seen this before. I think I have seen this before. And did you notice the red dot on the phone? And if it reminded you of something? This game is a real game, and it was used in Space Odyssey. And that's really interesting to me, that they chose this particular game. Why did the killer choose this particular game? It's checkmate in 3. Black is going to checkmate white, but it's white to move. So the best move, which Magnus finds, is queen takes a6. We then see bishop takes g2. Rook moves out of the way. Queen goes to f3. Bishop takes queen. And the game ends with knight takes bishop. And that is checkmate. So, what information did they get here? What information did they get? Let's take a look. So the last move was f3. They noticed that about the church. Also, in Norwegian, the bishop is called a runner, but they think, oh, it's a bishop in English. Do you think they're trying to kill a bishop? And they try to get to the church. They ride a horse. But when they put the bishop on the back of the horse, he all of a sudden falls down and dies. So why do you think that is? What did they miss? What did they miss? And it relates to the chess puzzle, and it's really cool. So I'm going to leave you on that cliffhanger. I am again going to recommend that you, if you like this book, that you either write the authors. I'll put some contact info in the description and suggest that they make it in English or whatever language you like, or you just buy it in Norwegian, which is the only language it's available in right now, just to support this awesome piece of chess art. Thanks for watching. I hope I will see you in the